Hi guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Penelope, Tita,
Yasha,
Lemia,
Precious.
Golden.
So today's video will be a tips for first year varsity students. So first we'll be giving tips for the first years, and then we'll specifically talk about the first year next students. So the first thing I would advise you guys to do is to find your group, because you're gonna have a group of like people that you can fall back on, especially when you have like a bad day, because varsity will kill you if you don't have someone or just a few people. Like that doesn't have to be a big group like us, you know.
That is so true. Like when doing assignments, you already know who you're gonna go with, and you know that they're reliable people, that they're focused. You know, you can laugh with them, but you can also be serious with them. So it's very important to like find your tribe.
I think one thing you guys should definitely do is don't skip orientation, because that's where you find like all these new faces, and then by the time you guys have your first class, everyone already has like their little clique. They're like, oh, I saw him at orientation, I saw Nyasha at orientation, I'm gonna sit with them, and those people just become your people. You're gonna see them for like 85% of your life now for the next 6 years.
I feel like you should also learn to communicate and like socialize with people, because you're gonna meet all the different type of people from different areas. You have to learn to like how to speak to them and how to, you know, make friends.
Don't be like, no, I'll do this by myself, I'll get through these years by myself, I don't need anyone. Because
Let's say you can get through first year by yourself, like the higher up in the hierarchy you get, the worse it's gonna get. I mean, you could be in a group assignment where you're placed with groups, but you just want to know that you know these people. Okay, Nyasha's good at this, so he's gonna do that. Tuta's good at that, so she's gonna do that.
You should also use your first year to do extracurriculars. Every time you left free time from the end of the year school, just gets.
That's also a good way to socialize extracurriculars, because you'll be like, oh, I know him from volleyball.
Help, guys. Don't be too proud. You will need help, so just ask for it. And everyone will be more than willing to help.
The seniors are really willing to help if you just ask, but you have to ask.
Now technically we're seniors too, so like that's like yourselves on the campus.
And don't forget the gym.
Of course, there's actually a school gym if you guys are into that type of stuff.
And also spend time with your friends outside of school, where you guys aren't doing schoolwork.
don't just consume yourself with school. You also need a break from school.
Especially during first year.
Let's say you have the most time, so make the most out of your first year.
Also, when you come to university, you find people from different backgrounds. Some people are obviously very well off, others are not. Don't compare yourself, don't compare your situation. Remember the reason why you came to university. Don't mind other people and the lifestyle they're living and maybe compared to the lifestyle you're living. Remember the reason why you came here. It's to study, to pass, and to get your degree.
Exactly. And in the end, you guys both ended up in the same place, and you're here for a reason. It's because you're not in the same tax bracket doesn't mean you are not gonna make it.
Work out in the
Like learning styles probably gonna change when you get to uni. Because of like the volume of work. Because personally, I was a notes girly. Like I had notes for everything in grade 12 and AS and all of that. And then when I came here first semester, it was like, okay, let me try and make notes. And it just became too much. Like you can't make notes for everything because the test is tomorrow, and you're not supposed to be making notes. You're supposed to be, studying your content.
Just find out your learning style.
And another thing, you may have been the smartest person in your class. You may have been the top in your class, but when you come to university, you'll quickly realize that the smartest people from the country are all put in one classroom. So if you end up failing or you're not doing as well as other people will do, it's gonna take some time. Just take some time. Take some time to adjust. Don't beat yourself up. If you don't get a 90 on that organic chemistry test, the very first one, you may fail it, but it's not the end of the world. It's gonna take some time for you to get back on your feet again. Don't become complacent though.
Don't think you know everything. You don't. I learned this way at my private school. I
got only 2 points.
No one cares.
There's always someone that knows something that you don't. If you don't know, just ask.
Some people have degrees.
Some people have
in your class.
It's not the normal school setting.
It's not.
The bright side is also that uni comes to like a lot of freedom. I think you're used to like your 7 to 1 type of schedule, but now you have like a class at 7:30, then you have a class at 10:30, and you can use that time either smartly, go to the library. I'm not gonna lie. We didn't go to the library and stuff. We'd sit in like the cafeteria.
Side eye.
And play cards and all of that. Just know how to use your time efficiently and know when it's time to work and when it's time to play. Otherwise, you're going to be on the group chat at 4 a.m. asking your stats questions.
What do I do here? All your friends are just online at 3 a.m. Like you'll be like,
like the day
off. And everyone's just online at 3 a.m. because what? You didn't use your time.
So learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, don't do what we did.
Make sure to do all of your assignments because you need your CA to be as high as you can.
It's not high school way.
Like make sure to ace
You don't
those.
pass your CA, that's it.
The CA will help you.
CA is continuous assessment.
Another thing with assignments, especially in group assignments, don't just rely on it. You'll see when the test comes, you don't know anything. So actually contribute and understand what is happening. Or else when the test comes, you'll literally be blank. You will realize that you don't know anything.
If push comes to shove and you're in a position where, I didn't study, it's the day before the test, do past paper questions.
That should be like your last resort.
Memorize.
If you have to understand.
It's like too long, just copy and paste.
Because I saw you.
So if someone asks a question on the group, you're like, I don't know what it is, but it's C. That's literally how.
Especially on the group, like the main, class
Yes.
group, like I don't know, like biochemistry, they send questions and they actually come up.
Yeah.
Like more times than not. They come
Memorize
up.
the
So
answers.
On that note, make sure that you're in the groups. Don't think you're cool and like, oh my gosh, these people talk so much. Because sometimes you're gonna fail the test alone because you didn't check the biochemistry group because they were talking so much. But at the end of the day, the whole question paper showed up on the
Then everyone is happy except you.
Screenshot quizzes online. Sometimes they're not allowed to review them more than
Quizlet
once.
is your best friend.
Quizlet and also just the online tests that we do. Sometimes they lock it or something. So now we're gonna move on to the first year med school modules. So I know you guys have a different curriculum now. You guys are part of the new curriculum. So you guys have 3 semesters. I think it's first semester, fourth semester, and second semester.
Jump scare.
Personally, we don't know how that works, unfortunately, but as we said, you guys always come ask us for help. First semester, we had English for academic purposes, embryology and intro to anatomy, systemic physiology 1, medical physics, and organic chemistry. So I know the modules names also change, so check your timetable and your perspectives to see like which module of ours corresponds to your module.
So for English for academic purposes, like I would recommend that you really listen in class, because when you listen in class, basically half the work is done. If you know how to reference properly while doing the activities in class, there isn't much work to do for the exams really.
And for the essay topics, there will be a section where you will have to write an essay. I would advise to choose something that you're really passionate about so that you can actually get enough points, or just make your essay enjoyable and understandable for your lecturer.
And also be mindful of the partner that you pick. Make sure they are hardworking and you guys are on the same page and that you guys work well together. Because if there's a clash, to be honest, it won't work out. Make sure they have the same work ethic as you and you guys are basically on the same page. And then you'll be good. Just have fun, show up to the classes, sign attendance. If it's online, show up. You don't want a situation where your attendance is not enough because you didn't show up to the online classes. So yeah, that's very important. But other than that, it's a pretty manageable module and I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Yes, and practice your referencing. Yes. Practice your referencing. Because I think it's like 6 marks or 12 marks just for referencing one thing.
And you're going to use it throughout your whole
career. So just know now already how to reference, because it's not going to leave you. It's going to follow you until your final year.
The general thing that we missed was attendance. Like attendance is actually important. Like you need 80% attendance if you want to write your exams. You don't want to be sitting at the end of the semester and you're hearing, okay, 7 people didn't qualify for English for academic purposes, and now you're stressing because you're like, how many times did I go to English? So make sure your attendance is always signed so that you only have to stress about your CA. You don't want additional stress of now attendance.
And also, like, even though your CA is at an 85 and your attendance is at like below 80, you still need that 80%.
Your CA could literally be 100 and you still wouldn't write.
Anatomy, the beginning is really chill. Like, to be honest,
you'll feel like you're still basically doing high school work and all that. But then later on, like stuff starts getting a bit tricky down the line. But then the easy way to basically do or like to study anatomy is simply just memorizing it. But then there are certain things that you have to try and understand like fully to like properly grasp the concepts, as well as more or less try to visualize like which specific system you're dealing with. If you're basically sitting in the exam and you're trying to remember which nerve is within a specific area, then if you can visualize it, then it's much easier for you to be able to answer a specific question. For anatomy, past papers also really help. Like majority of the questions that we had in our exams and tests, now and then we would get like a few jump scares with
Jump scare.
some questions which were completely new. But then past papers, they're really the girls they think they are, so turn to those.
And know your embryology, guys. Just like watch at least one Ninja Nerd video or something.
When it comes to anatomy,
YouTube videos.
Yeah.
There's Ninja Nerd, there's the noted anatomist.
Yes.
Yeah. Just find whoever works for you, because there are a million teachers online. Like,
Don't neglect histology.
histology will show you flames if you neglect
They'll
it.
ask. And the thing with things like histology and embryology is that you can't beat around the bush. If you don't know the answer, you just don't know the answer.
Exactly.
So they're gonna ask you, what structure did this derive from? You can't write paragraphs, it's a one-worded answer. So if you don't know it, that's it. And at the end of the semester, your exam is split up in such a way that they're gonna ask you everything. They're gonna ask you embryology, they're gonna ask you histology, they're gonna ask you normal anatomy, so you can't really escape any of them.
Practical labs are really important.
Yeah.
You learn a lot. It's one thing to have it in class where it's an image, but to see it on an actual cadaver.
And in second semester, you guys will have anatomy 1, but it's a bit different from semester 1's anatomy, because now you will have spot tests and actual tests. And the way spot tests work is like you will have 30 seconds to identify one structure at the table, right? And then you move to the next station and you have 30 seconds again to identify that structure.
Make sure you come to the cadaver labs prepared, because most of the cadaver sessions are self-directed. So it's not a thing of they're going to be like, here's the structure, here's the structure. You're going to be like, where is the structure? Yes, they direct you somehow, but it's much better when you come to class knowing what questions you want to ask them, because then everything just becomes clear.
And I know many people are like very nervous about cadavers. As time progresses, to be honest,
You get used to it. The smell, I don't know, the first day the smell is like, but you get used to the smell.
Obviously, do keep in mind that this was a person, treat them with respect and dignity,
That's very
but you really get used to it. And
Another thing is like there's certain things that you like tend to glance at in your notes and just decide, yeah, no, they'll never ask that.
When they go ask you,
They'll ask that.
We'll ask you.
So just go through everything. If it's in your
especially
notes, just go
embryology,
through it.
guys. Don't sleep on embryology, please. I know it's such a terrible, terrible topic, but know your embryology, guys.
it's so horrible.
Now we have systemic physiology.
With physiology, when you come to med school, it's kind of overwhelming. This is one of the subjects that you can say, I'm in medical school. Like when you're in the subject, you're like, oh, I'm actually in medical school. Personally, first semester, I didn't struggle, but like that's where I was like, wow, this is a lot of work. And this is one of those subjects where I couldn't make notes. I mean modules. I couldn't make notes for, because it's so much. It's just like a lot of, like, you'll have 80 slides in a day, for example. I found work best for me was definitely Quizlet. Like, you need to use past paper questions. Like, physiology is the holy grail of past paper questions. Also try to remember the things that are like super important. If you don't know what's important, ask your seniors, ask as you know. Like sometimes we'll be like, you know, you don't really crib cycle for now, but this, you know, stuff like that.
For me, physiology reminded me of biology in high school. Like, I realized that many people struggled in high school with biology simply because they just didn't study. And I was also found in that predicament where I just didn't want to study the work, but you just have to study the work. Not obviously everything. There's some things where you kind of, you know, can, I'm not saying memorize everything, but at least read through everything and have a basic understanding of everything. Because you'll realize when you see a question, it was literally just in the notes. You just didn't study. So it's like important to study. And just to emphasize again what Prisha said, past papers and quiz that really helps. Yeah.
I think being very careful with physiology, because this is one of those modules that a lot of people tend to repeat. What Ma said, it's literally about simply studying. It's easier said than done, because I think you get overwhelmed. You see like all these 80 slides, you're like, there's no way, so you start skipping. So if you find yourself doing that, also watch a lot of videos for physio, because like a lot of concepts, like 80 slides can be explained in like 30 minutes. So if you do that, I think you'll be fine with physio. I think with physio, because it's in both semester 1 and semester 2. Semester 1, I think it's going to be a bit rocky. For most people, it's a bit rocky. You're still finding your feet. You're like, whoa, we're writing a block test. But then in semester 2, you get used to it and you're like, oh, physio.
But like with physio, you also really need to make sure you're able to understand the concepts. Sometimes you have to apply the knowledge you're getting from the notes to answer a specific question. Like it don't always be asked in a straightforward manner, so it's important to understand as well. There are several textbooks which you can use for physio.
The holy grail of physiology past paper questions is Guyton and Hall. That is the best. They copy questions, like I would say I've maybe found 50% of the questions that they use from the Guyton and Hall book. So if push comes to shove and you do end up studying the day before, and you know you're going to do, I don't know, cardiology for example, go through all the cardiology Guyton and Hall questions and you might just scrape a pass. A lot of people don't know the difference between physiology and anatomy. Anatomy is the memorization, so this is the tibia, this is the fibula, and then physiology is how it functions, so this is what it does, it contracts, it relaxes, or whatever.
Now we're gonna move on to medical physics.
Luckily, medical physics is the same as physics from AS level, mostly. Mostly just AS
Just forces.
Things that you thought you got away from,
They're coming, they'll find you here.
If you listen in class, you'll be fine. And one thing about our lecturer, we have the same lecturer. He repeats question papers like the same thing.
Exactly.
He'll give it to you. He'll always go through question papers.
But also don't play yourself, because the exam comes.
You guys are repeat questions in the exam.
So you have to know your work.
But in the test,
So just pay attention in class, like make sure that you take notes here and there, because there will be that special formula that you don't find in your test, but it's in the exam.
But to be honest, you can do medical physics again. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, that one you can do.
That one you can.
Needed. Like if you need to prioritize, I'm just being honest.
We're not saying do it, but
finish that past paper, you're probably, I have 80% chance that you're gonna pass, unless, but of course we are part of the old curriculum, you guys are in the curriculum,
so we
might
don't
have
know.
switched it up a bit, so we're not sure, but from what we know, a past paper will get you through the year. Basically, it's almost like the lecturer is like, you know what, I'm gonna let you get to the exam, but in the exam, you better know your work. Don't throw away your grade 12 notes, your physics notes, because it's almost so similar, and they're not going to be like, oh, the method you used in high school is not the one you're using. If the answer's correct, it's correct.
We're going to move on to organic chemistry, the worst module.
Every single first year test hates. First test comes, I think 80% of our entire class failed that test.
First test was
it was crazy. Don't play with organic chemistry. Prof. Sholas is very serious. He's also one of those lecturers where you can't just ask him a question and he'll give you the answer. He's gonna be like, what do you think? If you cannot answer it, he'll ask someone else. Then he'll be like, you know what, go search it up. If you don't find it, you can come back to me. Number one, past paper questions also really do help, because organic chemistry, or for us, it was multiple choice. It's very important, specifically for multiple choice, that you know your structures, because they can just put 10 photos, they're going to be like, you know, which one is 2-butanol, for example. Stuff that you don't think is important is important. So if the oxygens are going from left to right, know that they're going from left to right, because if you do it right to left, then you're done for. Also, practice drawing. So you should know how to practice your structures, practice those a lot, and then also use textbooks. Textbooks help a lot with this module.
If it's in the slides, study it. Dr. Shalom will tell you it's not going to be the test.
But it will be.
And also do a little bit of extra reading, because the slides, I remember, I think most of us studied just from the slides for that first test, and then look at how that turned out. So this book, 1,000 multiple choice questions in organic chemistry, carried me. Emphasize, guys, organic chemistry can kill you if it wants to. So yeah, anything with the word chemistry in it, be careful. So yeah,
And also for YouTube, the organic chemistry tutor.
for everything. Almost.
Yeah, for physics and chemistry, you can just watch his videos. His
Stats.
Stats. Oh yeah, we're getting to stats, guys. Don't worry. So now we're moving on to statistics. It's the worst module for semester 2.
I tried.
We tried like you
Guys, for stats, all I can say is that C's get degrees.
See, is enough, guys. Don't force
More than
yourself.
enough. Not even
Because,
enough.
child, if you're in medical school, you probably like maths. You were probably good at maths.
I got an A.
Yeah, you probably got an A.
Emotional, damn it.
Like,
Yeah.
guys, I don't even know how to.
It doesn't even make sense.
It comes down to practice.
Yeah, it's true.
These are the
class.
things
In class,
that
and
you
you
miss
pay attention.
If you miss like 3 class, you're done for.
If you miss one
Now
class,
you're done.
it's a demanding module.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think people take it for granted at the beginning because you're like, I don't even need stats for medicine.
Yeah.
You don't, but technically you do because it's in the curriculum and that's it.
Yeah.
Guys, we're serious. So many people. So many people had to write a makeup test.
Yeah.
Many of them.
Like more
Yeah.
than 60%
So
of the
many
class.
people.
Like that is one of those modules where it's literally just possible that the whole class fails. Like,
Very
it's that
possible.
possible.
You can study until 4 a.m. guys. You will
And
still
still
get the
you-
40% in the test. So just sleep.
I feel like it comes with practice. If the test is today, you have to practice from like Monday, today's
Yeah,
Friday.
practice
like,
the whole week, not the night
practice.
before.
You really need the practice. Make sure that you have a good group because you have a lot of group assignments and stats.
Yeah.
And Lord knows you need a high CA.
Yeah.
It's a crazy module. Know your theory.
Yeah,
Practice
know
your
your
work.
theory.
It's honestly it comes down to practice. And then yes, past papers are important, but you'll never find the same question, of course. Because it's numbers.
Beginning it's easy. Like the first test we all passed it. We all got like 80, 70s. It was just descriptive statistics, which is just mean, mode, and median. No,
Yeah,
those
that's
11
what-
things. Then inferential statistics. Is where
That's
the
what I'm
danger is.
saying. Like, don't think you know. Just because
Yeah.
you got like an amazing mark before,
The first test, you're
doesn't
like, oh
mean-
yeah, I got this.
Like it's fine.
I feel like
Yes.
that's anything actually just in general with university. Just because you passed the first
first one doesn't mean you
doesn't
pass the
mean-
second one.
doesn't mean you'll pass the
So
second.
next we have sociology. It wasn't difficult. It was just so boring.
And
you
I
know?
feel like you neglected.
Yeah, we were just like, this is life skills, and you know that environmental part of biology. It's just the boring parts of all the good subjects.
When we started, we had a new lecturer, so there weren't any past papers.
Sure.
But the thing is, like truly, the test is basically the notes.
Just go through your notes.
It's technically this one you can study the night before.
Yeah, our seniors told us to like go through question papers, they'll just repeat. But we had a new lecturer, that's why we didn't pass that.
So you guys actually might, because of this syllabus change, it might be completely different.
Yeah.
Because when I'm looking at their past papers, that was just a new lecture. Now it's a new syllabus.
Yeah.
So it might be quite different. But all in all, just I'd like read.
The notes.
Just read the notes with actual notes. So
understanding.
that one you don't really have to do that further reading.
Yeah, just read your notes. It's
Like,
fine.
You need to be able to discern what you need to memorize and what you need to take home.
Yes, there's some things that are like just lots and lots and lots of examples. Like you'll have 3 slides of just examples that you don't really need to know. You take 3 examples from there so that you can go write them in the test, and then you're good to go. So I would say that sociology is one of the more laid back modules.
Don't neglect it, guys, because you can repeat it.
You can fail any module.
Yeah.
The exam was a lot of writing.
Oh
Yeah, the exam you had to use your common sense.
Yeah.
But we don't like it though. It was important.
Makes you a good doctor. You're like,
It doesn't matter if you're gonna fix Gordon today, then he's gonna go home to a house with no roof and he's gonna drink alcohol. So all those things are actually very important.
True.
Yeah.
now the last module is biochemistry.
Semester 2 is where the danger is. Semester 1 you're gonna be like, this is net school? And I'm like,
Yeah, like come on.
I can do
semester 2, semester 1 is for distinctions, guys.
Yes, please. Semester
Get us
Make
maybe
sure.
distinction.
Yeah, semester 1 is where you get distinctions. Semester 2, it's fine. C is enough, guys.
C's get the grade.
Biochemistry is question papers because also multiple choice. So
I
you
feel
can
like
just go through question
also
papers.
understanding.
But not really.
Yeah.
Mine's where it was like
No
3
words.
PDFs with like 100 slides each, and then when the test came, it was just question paper.
So like this
For
is
certain
these are
lectures,
videos.
yeah,
When
it's
you
not
say-
your lecturer.
We're not gonna say the
Find
lectures
Bradley.
yet.
Yeah, Bradley.
Oh my gosh.
Bradley for every single module.
Bradley.
That man, he is
Okay, to explain, Bradley is a
Yes.
student here, but what
Yeah.
Bradley did is he composed past papers for different modules, and they're
Yes.
basically sent as PDFs on the groups.
Yes.
Please, if you see Bradley,
If you see
open it.
Bradley.
It's
Every
literally
question,
like
go through it.
72 pages of
Yes.
just questions, but these are questions straight from UNEM.
Literally
So
like
it's
They will
It's the
help you.
best
That
ever.
I feel like that for biochem. If you have Bradley, you can maybe get a 50%.
And many other
Biochem and
modules.
anatomy.
Sometimes Bradley can stab you in the back.
Physio.
So anatomy, physiology, biochem,
Yeah,
Bradley.
Bradley.
If Bradley, if you're watching this,
Bradley, will you help us?
Oh, man, we love
If you have like 4 tests in 1 week, then just let Bradley go through
That
the
Save your life.
You really have to
Save your life.
Just do Bradley.
Yeah.
Literally,
when
we
push
call
comes
it
to
Bradley.
shove,
Yeah, but biochem, I told you guys anything the word chemistry in it, take it seriously.
Yeah, that would get
But
your
also,
flames.
when you come here, make sure to ask your seniors because we can tell you this is the lecturer that copies.
Yeah,
The lecturer
yeah.
that makes new questions from
Yes.
So if you make the mistake of only doing past papers for this lecture, but that's the lecture that
That
makes
makes
new
new
questions,
questions,
you're
yeah.
done. You're gonna fail.
you will.
So as per
But then if you make the mistake of going through only the slides with the lecture that copies, you're also done. So you need to make sure that you know what you're doing.
times they just randomly make assignments in class.
Yeah.
Yeah, which are
Yes.
graded. So
Don't
it's
miss
important to attend biochemistry because it actually counts, and if you're not there, you get a 0.
Yeah.
Just surprisingly, they just like have a test
Yeah.
or an
So
assignment to
attend
do.
all those classes.
And
Always.
listen in the
even
class.
if they're
because
7:30, guys, go to
Yes,
the class.
7:30.
Because once you start missing,
you
don't stop it. This side for me.
Especially second semester because I know it's end of the year, you're tired. But go to class, guys.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
to
in
class.
first semester you're still happy go lucky.
I'm gonna go to all my classes.
Doctor.
Second semester, you're like, what's the point?
Especially in stats when you get lost, you're like,
Yeah.
where go to class? Yeah.
I'm not sure if they still do this in the new curriculum, but they usually had online classes. 7:30 online class.
Yeah, like
You know,
I'm not
yeah,
doing
it's-
that.
But like definitely go through it, like
Yes.
go through the effort to go to the class or go through the recording because it's gonna come up and you're gonna be stuck. So
Especially physiology, what they do a lot of like online videos. They'll put that up an online video. You don't check your Moodle, and then when you get to class, she's like, "You guys watched the video, right? Because I'm
Yeah, 'cause I'm
And then you
continuing. You're
can
like, what?
Everyone is like, we don't know what's going on. They're by special fences.
Yeah, you guys have integrated pathology and physiology now, I think. But there by pathology, I think the best thing is maybe just watch videos. Maybe that because we have pathophysiology now. Yeah, so just watch videos and just know your diseases and
But I'm sure because with physiology, same way of structuring the questions.
Yeah.
So it's still the same approach.
yeah. Okay, and good luck, guys.
Good luck with
Have fun.
yes.
Okay, guys. I know this video is really long, but if you enjoyed this, please like, and if you found it helpful, like, comment what you want to see more on this channel, and subscribe if you haven't. Yeah.